So we live about 3 miles away, but about twice a week we try to bring our little home office down to the beach. And we're in Ocean Beach, San Diego. And look at this bitchin' view. So our camper is a Lance camper. It's a 1999 model. We paid $7,000 for it, and we probably put maybe, I don't know, maybe $1,500 into it. And here are a few upgrades that we've done, and I'll explain a few things. It might be boring to people that know, but it might be interesting to people that don't know. You know, all the little vents and exterior compartments and things and how we use them. So this is the freshwater tank. If we want to fill up the tank, there's a tank on the inside. It's 25 gallons. And then there's a pump on the inside if we want to run any water from the shower or kitchen or bathroom sinks. This is our battery compartment. We only have one battery. We might get another one in the future. The way to charge this battery is if we plug into electricity, if we start our generator, and it's constantly getting energy from the solar panels that are on the roof. So we never really run out of batteries. And then right next to that compartment we have on our electrical. So either I can run this extension cord out into an RV park power supply or any home, or this wire, which is kind of cheesy, runs all the way to the generator that's on the front of the camper. But in the near future I'm going to hardwire this yellow cord from the generator to the camper in a much cleaner way so it doesn't look so tacky. Right next to that compartment is the hot water heater, which I'll open up, and you just light it up and it blows. It runs off propane. It blows a big flame right through that tube, which goes through the center of the hot water heater, heating up the water around it. 6 gallons, and it's good for a pretty good shower if you mix some cold. Right next to the hot water heater we have our outdoor shower. Very convenient. You just you clip it up there, you bring this out, and boom. In this compartment over here we have the sewer drains. This is the black water, which is toilet water. This is the gray water, which is the sink in the kitchen, bathroom, and shower. There's 2 separate tanks. So that's the black water tank, that's the gray water tank. And you attach a hose here, you let it all out when you pull the lever. Up here we have exterior light, and this is just the exhaust vent for the kitchen fan by the stove. When Tammy's cooking, it gets warm in there, so we have a little fan that takes in this compartment. The ladder just folds up like that, and in here is meant to be a generator, but we keep a generator on the front, so we just keep electrical cords, some hoses, some plug adapters, and then the ladder just folds down and goes into these little clips here. Here's another little storage compartment. I keep most of our tarps in here, tablecloths, ropes, stakes to put in the ground for the tarps. See, we use this big tarp up here. You just got to tie it to 4 points. We have folding poles. We just use the handicap sign, volleyball pole, whatever. In this compartment we have the propane. It's kind of cool because they lay on their sides to save space, 7.5 gallons each. It's got an automatic switch over. And the propane, we use propane on the fridge, the stove, and the water heater. And then this compartment is just the back of the fridge, where actually air goes in, cools the fridge down, and comes out of that vent over there on top. The main reason why we like a truck and a camper combination is because this is just a regular F-350 truck, long bed, 4-door, but these jacks are located on all 4 corners of the camper, and inside I have a remote, and I hit the remote, this jack extends, the camper lifts off the truck, and the truck can drive forward, leaving the camper in storage or at the campground if you want to go cruising around with your truck, which we very rarely do. I just like leaving the truck on the camper. You can compare this to a Class C RV. They're bigger, they're longer in general, and you can't fit in a regular parking spot. But here we back up to the beach, and our back door is right on the sand. You can't beat that. In my opinion, one of the most important things in truck camping is how you attach the truck to the camper. and many people take the cheap route, and that's a setup for disaster. So here's my setup. These are spring loaded. You twist them by hand, not too tight. Comes down here to a chain, attaches to this. These are frame mounted camper tie downs where it's actually bolted to the frame of the truck. Many people tie it to, when I bought the truck it had some brackets here. To me it's ridiculous that you tie a 3,000 pound camper to some sheet metal. Here's the setup in the back, similar setup. I actually just welded this to my tow hitch because there wasn't a good spot to put it. Here's another kind of interesting fact. I had to buy an Aftermarket Hitch. It has a 2.5 inch receiver there versus a 2 inch. Then it's got an extension. That way it goes under the camper. The truck ends here, the camper ends there. So I just got this extension bar. I made those steps, but you can actually put a tow hitch there and tow a trailer. 450 pound tongue weight and 4,500 total weight. Because the camper is 20 years old, the exterior was getting very chalky on the fiberglass, so I hand sanded the whole thing, wiped it down with alcohol, and I rolled on white glossy Rust-Oleum paint, and it came out amazingly well. Look at that. And then on the vent covers I sanded it and I spray on bed liner, so it's got like an orange peel. Another cool addition that was really easy to do is I bought these aftermarket LED lights. I also put LED lights up here. I put a backup cam, much brighter than the old style. I put a motion light over here. It works at night. Right on the inside of the front door I put 3 different switch panels for the exterior lights. It looks a little cool. Because our truck is lifted, it's much higher to get into the camper from the ground, so I fabricated these steps over here that slide into the hitch receiver, and you can take that out and just put in a regular tow hitch. I'm drilling this hole bigger, and I could probably put a ball right here and use this as a hitch or a step. Up on the roof we have 4 100-watt panels, and then these are pretty cool fans. I'll show you on the inside. But what I did was I painted the vent black to prevent any light from shining in, and then I painted them white so it stays nice and cool when we're out in the desert. Oh, and for those of you that are not familiar with RVs, that's just our AC unit, and that's our bedroom sunroof over there, which is really, really nice when you can lay in bed and watch the stars or pop your head out, check out the morning. Now keep in mind, there are campers that have slide outs, like where this whole square area will slide out maybe 18 inches, makes this whole living area much bigger. There's campers with a back wall that slides out. There's campers with automatic awnings out the back, out the side. We want none of that. We don't want anything to be automated, because, you know, imagine we down in Baja or something and our slide doesn't want to come in, or the awning doesn't want to come in. We don't need any of that crap. There's just 2 of us. The space works fabulous. Those other campers look incredible with all their space, but we just don't want the hassle. And they add up the weight. The overall weight increases when you add all those things, and you don't need any extra weight. Another cool thing I did was this bumper was just plain ugly white. I cut and riveted this piece of diamond plate aluminum, and then the cool thing is inside the bumper is our sewer hose, you know, that attaches over there. You stick it in a sewer dump and pull the lever, and it's party time. Okay, so here are a few things we've done to the interior part of the camper. When we first got the camper, it had one of those cheap $20 little ceiling fans that extract the air. We put this one on. Comes with a nice remote by Max Air. This is the one that opens and closes, reverses, it knows when it's raining, and it'll close when the rain comes. It can turn on when you set it to a certain temperature, it will open or close. And then in the bathroom we just have the cheaper model. It just extracts the air, and it has multiple speed. You got to close it by hand, but it works well. Since we're in the bathroom, this is a really cool shower handle that we changed. The original RV cheap crap that came always used to leak. When you're boondocking, you don't want to waste a drop of water. This has an on-off switch. But the spray that comes out of here is really fine, and it makes you think like you're having a really hard shower, but you're only using, I don't know, maybe 5 gallons for a good shower. We're not a big fan of the wood grain cabinetry, so we painted all the cabinets mostly black, but some white. Down below, we've done the drawers. Also, we had the crappy fabric cushions redone in Tijuana in a nice black vinyl. I got some, this is rubber diamond plate, which I put over here, and then the step up to the bed I've also put some rubber diamond plate. When Tammy wasn't looking, well, she wasn't around that day, I put some diamond plate on the fridge and this little step up to the bed area. This is a cool little feature. I purchased this off Amazon. It's got 2 USB plugs here and then regular wall outlets over there. So right up there is the cable that comes through the ceiling for the solar. And then I got a breaker over here. It's a resettable breaker that's coming in, and it comes down there and comes right here to the solar controller, and then coming out of the solar controller to the battery. You can't see it from here, but I have another one of those resettable breakers. Okay, we should talk about safety features in the camper. This is obviously just a regular smoke detector. Down here we have a propane detector. You have it down low because propane sinks to the ground or the lowest point in a room. By law, this has to be hardwired to the battery. It has no on and off switch. It's got to be on all the time. That way when you're sleeping, if there's a propane leaking somewhere, it starts beeping. Actually, just this week we were scooting by the stove in between the bicycle and we turned this on by mistake, and the propane was running for quite some time before we noticed it, even though it didn't set the alarm off because we had the windows open. Another alarm up here by the bedroom area is a carbon monoxide detector. Carbon monoxide is I guess it's spent propane. So if you're using the stove and you're cooking, it's the fumes from the stove. Even on a cold winter day, they suggest you keep one roof vent open or a window just to get the carbon monoxide out, which is a killer in your sleep. It actually makes you sleepy, and you just go into, your heart goes slower and slower till you die with not much warning. I installed this digital thermostat a while back. The old one was just an analog with a little slider, but this one you can pick your exact temperature, which activates or deactivates the interior furnace to keep us warm in the winter, which we never really use unless it's extremely cold. Here's something that I did pretty cool. Bought these off Amazon. It's just stick-on tile. You just wipe the back, you wipe the wall with some alcohol, and you stick these on, and I thought it came out pretty sweet.
Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe to be notified when we post new videos.